Believe it or not, it's been more than 50 years since an American-made watch was available on the commercial market. I'm happy to report that is no longer the case. I had a chance to visit the headquarters and production facility of JN Shapiro Watches based in Inglewood, California, where founder Joshua Shapiro, a history teacher turned watchmaker, realized his dream of, quote, making a watch from scratch and everything in it. So here's our tour of JN Shapiro Watches, where an array of engine lathes, a fantastic antique Rose engine lathe, CNC equipment, and specialized tools create nearly all of the parts for JN Shapiro's Resurgence brand of high-end watches.
Welcome to JN Shapiro Watches. Let me give you a tour of our workshop. So first off, over here we have our engine turning machines. This machine here is a 100-year-old Rose engine machine. It's a very special machine. We just recently got this in. And then if you come over here, we have 3 more Rose engine machines. All 3 of these machines were made in Great Britain about 100 years ago. This machine over here is a recent machine made by David Lindau, who's a bit of a Renaissance man. Makes incredible machines. And these 3 machines over here are straight line machines, and they were manufactured about 80 years ago, post-World War II in Germany. And all these machines are used to make the beautiful geometric patterns on our watch faces and case components and some of our movement components. Engine turning, or guilloche, is most famously on the Fabergé eggs. It's one of the aspects of those eggs that makes them so expensive. And it's, for machinists, it's just a really cool machine. It's hand operated, no electricity, but makes really beautiful parts, and there's a lot of math behind it, and the interaction between the machine and cams, just really delightful machines with lots of history and character, and we love them. So this machine is a plant Rose engine machine, and then it has a very special attachment on it that takes the rotary movement of the machine and ovalizes it, or ellipses it, turns that movement, and so we can make ellipse-shaped geometric patterns on the machine. It's got lots of other really unique special attachments as well. Rose engine machines were some of the first screw cutting machines, and they're an integral part of the history and development of the lathe. But we love machines like this. Like, this is definitely our most special and beautiful machine. Mahogany wood top, and the rosettes are much larger than those over there. Those are much more practical production Rose engine machines. Well, this would have been for like highly specialized uses. So over here, we have Spencer, who's one of our incredible watchmakers, and right now he's hand filing this setting component to make it fit properly. We're in the prototype stages for our new watch movement, and we have to do a little bit of hand fitting and then go back to the CNC department to make tweaks to it, but that's part of it, is hand fitting in some of these parts. So that's what Spencer's doing right now. So if you zoom in, you can see our prototype movements made out of German silver, and then each of these steel components are hardened and tempered levers and springs for the setting component of the movement. And then over in here, we have our manufacturing room. And over here, we have our Lathe Park. Especially in the prototype stages, we do a lot of manual machining. So over here, we have our Shablin 70s, and these little lathes are extremely precise. We use them to make watch pinions, watch wheels, gears, and many other components. Highly precise machines. Like this one has like a milling attachment on it, dividing attachment, and then the gray machines are Levin lathes, and they're also watchmaker lathes, also extremely tight tolerances. And this company was making watchmaking machinery, but then when the watchmaking industry died in the United States in the 60s, they transitioned to aerospace, military, medical, and they're still located in Southern California, still in business, still making great machines. They take a lot of attachments, a lot of collets. So we have multiple sets of collets in every size conceivable. I'm talking to machinists here. They get it. Your machines are only good as the accessories. Like this is a very cool micro drilling attachment for drilling tiny holes. So you have the spindle and the lathe rotating one way, this rotates the other. This machine is for polishing the leaves of pinions. And it came out of the original Hamilton watch company. You know, this machine was used for decades and hadn't seen any life to it for 70 years. And we've brought it back to life, using it for what it's intended for. You know, that's one of the really important special things we're doing. We're trying to reinvigorate the watchmaking industry here in the United States. You know, the watchmaking community is a really great community. Just like the machinist community is fantastic, so is the watchmaker community. And you know, we're just constantly learning from every person we talk to. David Walter is a big mentor of mine. He's an incredible clock and watchmaker in Santa Barbara, and I've learned a lot from him. And he's shown us a lot of processes that he himself has learned from previous masters, and so there's this line of transmission that's a part of watchmaking. This is a really special machine. This is our Harding HLVH, and it was completely restored by Babin in Massachusetts, who specializes in restoring Harding machines. This gets a lot of use. This is our big Shoblin. Over there we had our small Shoblin, so this is our larger Shoblin 102. It has an overhead milling attachment, very precise, but we can do large or small things on here. We have our centrifugal barrel finishing machine over here. This is for getting a high polish on our tiny parts. We do it manually, and we're trying to get this machine up and running so that, you know, we're not spending hours and hours polishing a single component. Then we have our FOBA fiber laser. I'm a big laser enthusiast. This is like the 5th or 6th fiber laser I've owned. It's got a camera on here that we can align parts to, and it's just fantastic. 3D printing, we have our resin, Formlabs 3D printing over there. Ender machine here, and then this bamboo has been incredible. This is a new 3D printer, and it's extremely fast. And so we use it for a lot of efficiency, work holding things like this, but also if we need to enlarge a watch part to a huge scale, we can test the component, you know, 20x its actual size. We have 2 CMMs. This is a hexagon, but it's old. It's like 15 years old, and it was like a 2-3 micron machine, and that wasn't cutting it for us. So we upgraded to this brand new Keyence LM, and it can measure in the submicrons. And so that's been a huge game changer for us. And then over here we have our CNC machines, and I'll let Daniel take over for that.
This is our Shoblin 102 CNC. It's a CNC lathe built over old Shoblin 102 construction. We have a turret on it as well as some gang tooling. Very tight fit. We make a lot of case parts on this machine, hoping to use it as a precious metal machine. We can do as much gold recovery and precious metal recovery as possible. It runs a FANUC control. This is our Kern milling machine. It's a Kern Evo, built in 2011. It's a 5-axis machine, so it's a 3-axis construction with a 5-axis trunnion on it. Positional 5-axis, so it can do simultaneous, but it's better suited for 3-axis positional. This machine has, according to Bulvar and inspection reports, a 1 micron tolerance over the entire travel. It also has a 50,000 RPM Fisher spindle. It's got a 96 tool carousel in the back.
which we hope to fill up soon.
Yeah. Uses HSK 25 holders, which are these very small tools. We use a lot of RegoFix PG10s. This is our Citizen L12. This is a Swiss type CNC lathe. It's got a main spindle, sub spindle. It's got gang tooling. It's I believe a 7-axis lathe. Runs a maximum of a 12mm bar.
We don't use it for that big though.
Yeah.
2-3 millimeter.
Most of our parts fit inside a 3mm bar or smaller.
One neat aspect is Citizen is a watch company, and they developed these machines to make watch components for themselves, and then realized there could be a huge market for selling the machine itself. In the United States, there's no one else using Citizen machines for watch components, so it's neat that we're using a Citizen machine in the US for watchmaking. One interesting thing is we don't have a bar feeder on here, and it's because we're low production. We make high-end watches, so we're not making a ton of components. So one bar will make enough components for many, 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 many watches. So we haven't had the need for that automation. We had this line of watches. This was our Infinity series. And we did this series for about 5 years and then recently discontinued it. And we've moved on to this, which is our Resurgence line. And what's really special about these watches is every component, including all the components in the movement, we made here in this workshop. The vast majority. We didn't make the springs or the jewels here, but all metal components were made here. And that was really special because this hasn't been something that's been fully done in the United States since Hamilton in the 1960s. And one of the materials we really specialize in is tantalum. And we started producing wristwatch cases in tantalum. Very few people work with the material. It's not an easy material to work with. And it really makes a stunning material for the cases. It's dense, but dark gray. Almost bluish hue. This movement is a movement we bought in and used for years. And at first I started making just the face of the watch. Then we moved on to making cases. And then the last part of the trifecta was the movement itself, which is the most difficult part by far of a watch to make.
Hey everybody, Brent Donaldson with Modern Machine Shop here. And if you just watched that video and you're thinking, boy, I'd like my shop to be featured in the View from My Shop series, then just send us an email at shopvideo@mmsonline.com and tell us what sets your shop apart.